How do you know it's the NFL offseason? Take a look at the rumor mill, and in San Francisco, one name is always swirling in the headlines: Brandon Aiyuk. Once again, as negotiations and speculation reach their boiling point, Aiyuk's potential move has become a hot topic, this time with the Pittsburgh Steelers emerging as a seemingly perfect trade partner. With the 49ers wrestling with roster construction and the Steelers searching for answers after a dramatic shakeup, both teams find themselves at a crossroads, and Aiyuk is right at the center of the intrigue. Let's delve into why this possible trade is more logical and more captivating than you might think, examining the financials, the football fit, and what it could mean for two historic franchises craving a competitive edge. The 49ers' dilemma: high hopes, slimming options. Every offseason brings tough calls. For the 49ers, the lack of impact signings in free agency has left them with more questions than answers. Although Brandon Aiyuk emerged as one of their most versatile and dynamic weapons in recent years, financial pressure now looms large. After extending Aiyuk last year to the tune of 4 years and $120 million, an average of $30 million annually, the Niners have to decide if keeping an expensive receiver, especially after a knee injury, aligns with their long-term vision. With guaranteed roster bonuses for 2025 now locked in since April, and Aiyuk's cap hit for next season sitting just below $10 million, this is a pivotal moment. At the same time, San Francisco needs to avoid the fate of losing a high-value asset for nothing, a lesson learned from past attempts to play contract hardball. That tension is what keeps this trade chatter alive. Pittsburgh's opportunity. Rebuild by reinvention on the Steelers' end. Urgency is built. Having swapped George Pickens, an electrifying but polarizing presence, for draft capital in a move with the Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh's receiving corps suddenly looks precariously thin. The addition of DK Metcalf injects serious talent, but with defenses certain to bracket him, the offense needs another threat to restore balance. This is where Aiyuk becomes a tantalizing choice. A proven playmaker, his blend of route run, precision and post-catch explosiveness perfectly complements Metcalf's size-speed profile. Not only would this give current starter Mason Rudolph significantly more to work, it would also serve as a major recruitment tool if Aaron Rodgers decides to chase a new challenge in Pittsburgh. But even if Rodgers heads elsewhere and the Steelers target a top quarterback in next year's draft, Aiyuk's veteran presence could be invaluable in aiding a young passer's growth, offering reliability, leadership, and a genuine top-level target. The money game. Value, risk, and the contract conundrum. Of course, it's not all highlight reels and potential. Money talks, and so does risk. Any team acquiring Aiyuk must not only absorb his mega extension, but also trust that his recovery from an ACL tear, suffered just 7 games into 2024, progresses smoothly. Teams will scrutinize his health as much as his. For the Steelers, the good news is Aiyuk's cap number for 2025 is under $10 million, thanks to the structure of his. However, 3 more years remain at hefty salaries, and if the Niners don't agree to cover part of the bill, Pittsburgh would take on financial liabilities as well as performance uncertainty. And for San Francisco, cutting funds loose now may offer the reset they need, especially as other roster decisions. It's a chess match, one that weighs proven production against salary cap flexibility and long-term league big names, big moves, bigger pressure. These negotiations so significant because AFC contenders are loading up across the Chiefs, Bengals, and Ravens are all upgrading their rosters, and the Steelers won't want to fall. Adding Aiyuk could be a statement move, an all-in investment signaling to the locker room and fans that Pittsburgh is chasing championships, now not waiting and watching. For the 49ers, letting go of a foundational receiver always carries risk. But after a year filled with what-ifs and financial pinches, sometimes a calculated gamble is the best way to retool, especially if you can extract promising draft assets or create the space to chase other top free agents. The ACL. Does the injury change everything? Aiyuk's health is a real. Returning to form after an ACL injury isn't, and every route he runs in training camp will be monitored. And still, with 3 years left on the extension, interested teams may be willing to bet on a full recovery. With sports science and rehab techniques more advanced, insiders, like Mike Florio, speaking to Pittsburgh's 93.7 The Fan, say the 49ers would love to link up with the Steelers, and that Aiyuk's price may never be lower than it is now. That makes this offseason the golden window for a deal that, in typical NFL fashion, has faded from the headlines, but hasn't What's really stopping this deal? If this trade makes sense. What? Sometimes the simplest explanation is the truest. Timing, caution, and uncertainty. Aiyuk's bonuses for 2025 guarantee that both sides fight over financial details. And though rumors cool off, insiders keep hammering away at the idea because the needs are obvious and the potential reward. The NFL rarely rewards standing. If this deal comes together, it could kickstart the next wave of aggressive team-building strategies, or leave fans wondering. So, is Brandon Aiyuk the missing piece for Pittsburgh? Or is San Francisco better off holding tight and betting on his elite? Does the risk outweigh the reward, or does a bold move now set one of these teams apart? We want to know your thoughts. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and leave a comment sharing with Aiyuk. And as always, subscribe for more exclusive news and behind-the-scenes analysis. This off-season is far from over, and whichever franchise makes the next move, we'll be here to break down every angle.